I want to introduce today Jared Arms. And Jared, I'd like you to tell us a bit about your business and how you started and what made you get into it.
All
So,
right. Well,
Jared
thank
Arms.
you. Thank you for having me on today, Mike. My name is Jared Arns. For the new listeners, I'm the founder and CEO of a non-for-profit organization called Kyler.il Foundation. We originally launched our, project in 2014. Last year, we just got approved for our 501c3. So what we do at the core is teach students how to develop like advanced tech skills, far as websites, partner with different tech companies to help students learn how to create video games, mobile applications. Of course, like in this new AI age, we've been teaching them more about just creating like generative um, artwork, videos, and things like that. But kind of at the core, just teaching the kids these tech skills and personally trying to decrease gun violence in St. Louis by increasing STEM awareness. So that's kind of like that personal passion.
Well, I've seen you have a lot of exposure on some of the morning shows and afternoon shows here in St. Louis. How has that really helped? You said you started back in 2014, right?
Yes,
So you're
sir.
coming up on almost 10 years, or you're getting into the 10-year mark. How has that affected your business since you started that? And obviously, you've got an awesome website. You've got some of the personalities here in St. Louis giving you a lot of promotional figures. How's it affected you over the last 9 to 10 years as you've moved your goal forward?
Oh man, it's helped me actually create like develop into a whole new person in a sense. Just different like leaders from young people up to the adults giving me just different levels of inspiration. I've been really excited about it from partnering with the St. Louis City to St. Louis County Police Department, St. Louis City University, H&R Block, KSDK, just had all these come on board and things like that. So it's been real supportive. Of course, most of the school districts from like the city to the county, but they've been real supportive, man. And I can't thank them enough. You know, when I do these events, I like to highlight important positive moments, especially when we're talking about like law enforcement and underserved African Americans. So, like with those nonviolent video game development tournaments, that's been great. Been able to partner with Clayco. We know that's one of the largest construction company in the state of Missouri. The director of IT, the director of diversity and inclusion, Dan Lester, Jesse Sanders, been able to come out, speak, the CTO, CTF from IBM, took
Wow.
part in the blockchain conference in 2019. So I can go down a long list, but man, everybody been super supportive and they're all in support of what I'm doing with the students, which is like my main thing anyway. So it's just been awesome.
So you're a young man, or seem to look like a young man.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit
33.
about what just made you just wake up one day, and I read part of your profile, but not everybody might go back and dig that up. But just tell us what made you one day wake up 10 years ago and say, I'm just going to jump up out of bed and I'm just going to go do this. Just what made that
Man,
happen?
10 years ago, that's a deep question. Let me think. So it was different situation, just trying to figure it out. Homeless at the time, in and out the car, different hotels. Um, but it was like kind of weird though. I had what like my, how you always got like you want to do something special, and I always be praying to have that little good idea. So that was always something I thought like I always been close to God and stuff like that. Just been praying. But like the pivot for me, actually, I had watched the movie The Social Network, late December 2011. And then 2012, I just started creating like these different memorials and stuff, trying to commemorate the loss of some of my deceased friends. So it
Okay.
started like that. And about a year later, I was doing that from about 2012 to 2013. So just doing those apps for my friends that was passing. And then a year later in 2014, I'm like, well, let me try to get out the computer and teach some of these kids some stuff in St. Louis. So hopefully it won't have to be as many more memorials I'm doing in the future. And then once I did that first class, it's like radio stations reaching out to school, contracted us out, and we didn't even have a curriculum or a second class to offer. They was already trying to hire us for paying stuff. So after the first class, it just took off, and up into connecting with you today, it just been like a blessing, like annually. So it was something I wasn't planning on doing for sure. We actually just got highlighted last year at Disney at the Blacks in Technology 2020 conference. Got to invite some of my students out who now age 16 that I've been working with since they've been about 10. So some of these things I wasn't thinking about, but it's just been a blessing to see just more people reach out and help me expand.
You become the accidental entrepreneur by doing something socially responsible is what I'm hearing. Not trying to put words in your mouth, but you you had these things happen in your life and you distilled them and decided you could, almost like an inflection point, you could become someone like you were growing up with, or you could make a difference, right? And go out and make a difference. And you just, when God gives you lemons, you can make lemonade, right? And you decided to do something. And when you did something, people saw in the community and decided to support that. That's what I'm hearing,
Yes, sir.
right?
And it feels good too to be like someone who's still, like you say, not too young, but still connected with the millennials in the younger crowd, and can be someone in the community who not gonna force them to try to be a criminal or do some crazy stuff. So yeah,
Right.
that's been a huge impact in St. Louis.
Right. And St. Louis needs that, giving kids something to do that makes it productive and keeps their mind focused on something. That is really phenomenal. So I'm going to ask you a few of these other questions I think that'll really roll into this very well. So if you just start from square one in your business, right? Because the accidental entrepreneur, right? It just happened and boom, here you are 10 years later. If you had to start from square one in your business again, what would you do differently?
I I would probably, and this me just based talking like off of like me expanding like next year for like our 10th year anniversary, but I would probably look for like a more like a different, like a probably like hire a CEO early on so I could focus on doing like some of the other stuff, more the community based work. So that would be the first thing, because it's a lot of funding that I know I could have tackled versus me just volunteering doing a lot of things, and I can't be two places in one. So that um and that's just talking like from an expansion standpoint, looking 10 years later. But personally, I mean everything that I did to get to this point now, I just wasted a lot of time like still doing stuff like with like just regular stuff, that really taking this serious like a career. I ain't signed up to do this or go to college, to never planning on doing this type of stuff. So really just kind of wasting time, like maybe thinking like, man, maybe they just picked me by accident or something like that. But now that I understand I'm gonna be growing gray in this field and like proud to do it, I would have been doing it like every day, like like I Walt Disney, how they was focused on it every day. I'm at that point now, but like when I first started, for at least the first 5 years, I was like only waiting on someone to call me, and then I'd go back into doing like basic stuff, going to the mall or on YouTube all day. So I could say I wasted a lot of time not taking it serious, but yeah, just time management. That's a big thing too with everyone.
Not time mastery. Yeah. Well, it's always easy, looking back in the rearview mirror, but at the end of the day, carpe diem, you took the lead and you did something, right?
Yes,
There's a lot
sir.
of people who always want to say, well, I could have, but you did it. And it's a lot easier to be successful and say, well, I could have done that, but I might not be where I am here today. So it's good you can reflect back and see what you need to do for the future.
That's true.
So what are some of so do you have employees?
At this moment, no, I'm just using I have like partners and volunteers and internships, but yeah. Next year we
Right.
will, once we like do a certain fundraiser.
So volunteers is sometimes harder than having employees because you've got to motivate them differently. So
Right, right.
let's put volunteer employees in there, okay, in a different word. So what's the biggest learnings that you've had since running your business? Because you have, volunteer employees. You've got folks who are showing up voluntarily. They're not getting a paycheck.
Gotcha.
So tell me how you've had to adapt in managing and motivating volunteers to get your good work out there and get it accomplished.
Yeah, so it's two sides. One with the Collar.io Foundation, my nonprofit, then Collar.io, my LLC. So like on that side, we've had like employees for like app developers and stuff like that. So that's kind of like more like simple answers. But with this one, now, like, of course, everything don't run perfect. You may have like a few speakers throughout the last few years who may come to the event and have to tap out or something like that, due to like an emergency coming about with their kids or something where they can't like speak. But that's rare. But usually, man, with like the type of way that I volunteer for my community and stuff like that, people try to match that energy to a sense. So I've been having some like a real dedicated team, and the way I do have stuff set up too, like when I'm working with like the partners that I have, from teachers to doctors to franchise owners of business. They all take the time serious when they schedule time out to volunteer for the students that we helping. So it'd be real random. I can't really think of too many Yeah, everybody do their part and stuff like that. And then if they can't make it or something, they'll try to let me know ahead of time to respect the event. But from this point on, like I'll be working with some serious people who really be caring about what they doing. So everybody really then showed up and delivered. It's a few people, of course, who I've probably misplaced in a sense like that. Um, but in the sense of just like having people volunteer, like the folks that reach out be some pretty busy people, so when they make the time they be really available and dedicated to it, because they know at the end of the day, like, we trying to prevent suicide, more gun violence, child sex trafficking, and some pretty serious stuff. Even though like the apps and the websites and the artwork be cool, but in the big picture, we keeping them in a safe environment against like the evil people. We could be doing whatever that's fun in the classroom, but making sure that we just having something safe. So for people to be around and stuff, it'd be a pretty serious little event. So yeah, that's a good question though. But I'm sure in the future though, it's gonna be like now what I can say, like, when people try to volunteer, even if I was to pay them, like last year when we were going out to Disney World, I had one of my partners, his mom was dealing with some health related issues, so he couldn't make it. One of my other two partners, they came down, um, which the funder was taking care of, but they still just wanted to come and volunteer. They had a car accident where they totaled their car, so I had to kind of hit some people up, and that was a little weird too, like having one of my high school friends try to listen to all my YouTube interviews in the car to learn some stuff, but I didn't put too much pressure on them. So stuff like that, it may be some stuff that can happen, but everybody still try to show up.
Good.
If I'm answering
Interesting.
that right for you.
That's right. So, what are some of the misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them? We have people out there, they see you on TV and they see you in the spotlight, and of course everybody thinks you're Hollywood, right? It's all glamorous, right? And they think you just got money everywhere. So tell us about some of the misconceptions about running a business and how do you address them with your friends and family and other folks?
Oh yeah, great question. Yeah, I had got the privilege to meet, like you say, a few just different celebrities and things like that, and people in the tech field. So I've had people call me just for trying to extort, like, hey, we need sorry about that, we need about 30 to 50K. These are random people getting my number off the internet, like, um our baby has been kidnapped, and I'll say, the responsible stuff, try to send prayers, call law enforcement to try to see if it's real, but learning about, sometimes people just be calling, well, I seen you on the internet with this guy, I need 50,000 from you and them. And if you all don't give it, just imagine what the whole internet would think about, Jared, who loves the kids, not helping with this. And I have to let them know, like, hey, especially when she was calling, like, I ain't got that type of stuff. And if I had it, I have like an organization set up where people can call just to get funded for missing cases and things like that. But that, on the flip side, I have, invested in certain family members, purchasing them hotels, airline tickets. They haven't showed up to the airport, kind of been a waste of money and things like that. Especially if some of that money I'm investing and trying to support them on has been like different investors and things like that, where I still got to make it back. So on the flip side, it's like you really can't pay for nobody for the hustle. But yeah, that's been a challenge. At this point, though, unfortunately, I'm just connected really with my mom, my 1 year old daughter, and stuff like that. I was trying to like take on a lot of people for a lot of years and stuff, but it just, unfortunately, with certain, like you saying, the perception and stuff like that, they may just see you on the news, maybe thinking something might be dressed well or something like that. So yeah, they get to going all crazy. It's been a lot of crazy stuff, as I'm sure you can know. But just at the end of the day, I say at the highest level, it be like people trying to extort you strategically. It don't really be too much violent stuff, but it might be like lawyers coming out, all that stuff. But like the honest part too, though, on my end is just when you doing wrong, or when you probably not putting as much energy and time as one project that you should be. So like we've had a couple, of course, customers maybe throughout the 10 years, no more than 5, where we had to refund and stuff like that. So, and all of those be like things that I take a 100% accountability for as a CEO, no matter if it's someone under me, my developer, intern, mishappen something. But yeah, at this point too, it's just like that money stuff will make, especially like if I'm showing profit from like a domain or app that we sold, and even if it's something small like 5 or 10 grand at the time and stuff, you know how that can make certain people look if it's just like all hundreds. So yeah, it's been some crazy little stuff, but I didn't cut a lot of those people out. And not just the bad folks, but anybody, if it's like friends, family, whatever. But at this point though, it ain't no friends I'm talking to from high school. It was one more guy this summer, but they just, I'm on a serious journey and stuff. So I can laugh and talk about stuff from 15 years ago, little old high school fights and stuff like that. But I ain't really entertained off of certain stuff no more too. So it's like that'd be the big thing too. It's like no matter how cool they was or how much work they put in or whatever, if they not doing something that's community and youth based at this point, it really ain't nothing I'm trying to talk to them about.
Right.
Yeah.
When I looked at some of the skills that you teach, walk us through more time. How you engage and teach those skills? Are they in the schools or the after school programs? Or I guess I listened to your radio program before. I see art and design, technology development, digital literacy and safety, communication, soft skills, entrepreneurship, and modern digital skills. How do you perform those? How do you perform those services out to um, the kids? Or what kind of programs? How do you get those out to others?
Yeah, great question. So we offer two and actually three. We do in school, after school, and of course virtual.
Okay.
One way, of course, like this past August, we've had Hazelwood School District invited to their back to school fair. There were like over 500 plus students. So we was able to promote our flyer, connect with the parents, and let them know that we have events coming up after school. And we also partner with community colleges. So say like on the weekends when the schools are closed, they can come to
Okay.
like places like St. Louis Community, Florissant Valley. We have a class coming up actually next Saturday. And then we also do things downtown, partnering with Venture Cafe and Cortex. So we'll have
Mhm.
some classes available too coming up in the next two, not this Saturday, but the next following Saturdays for the end of the month. And we'll be down there from 10 to 12 at Florissant Valley, and that Venture Cafe to be from about 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll have 2 hour classes kind of running throughout the Saturday. And when we teach the students, like say for an example, if we're teaching them how to build websites, if we're just doing coding, we might download a program and teach them like the introduction to like Android, HTML, whatever language we're teaching them. And then furthermore, we'll have the, same thing like with pretty much every tech curriculum, assignments, little projects that they'll work on. But what I'm excited about is this new stuff with this AI. So being able to teach them about how to create these like advanced prompts, just set up like their own AI assistant, get more accustomed with like configuring like their own private servers and things like that. So that's been dope. But really just teaching them the same skills that I know, showing them the websites, the programs that we use. Most of the classes, their parents are interactive with the students, so they also learn how to work it and things like that with the students. So it'd be pretty dope. And now that we have these new sponsors from like Aldi's and Grant, I'm tripping. Aldi's and H&R Block, we've been able to supply hundreds of school supplies this past summer, have like healthy refreshments and snacks and breakfast and things like that. So shout out to them again, because that's always just making the workshops be more valuable and things like that.
When they sign up, is it a one class or is it a multi-class sign up? I gotta think when you're doing programming and things, it's not a one class and done. You're probably signing up for multiple classes and they show up on a regular basis, or are they online, or is it both? A hybrid? How does that work?
Great question. Yeah, so either on site or virtual. So of course, if some kids can't make it, they'll ask to do something virtual. But usually, it's either virtual or on site. I prefer the on site. I'm just like one of them people persons who like to be in front and doing all of this stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's more than one class. We have a complimentary class every month that students can sign up for. Each class can have up to 20 students for free. And then we have like paid services if they want to do anywhere from like a 2 to 8 week course to learn more advanced things.
gotcha.
And that's
Very
for
good.
this, yeah, that's for the STEM program. We have a few other programs too. We could talk about another on a different platform, but we do have like a trauma program too, partner with licensed clinical social workers, focus on more serious issues, suicide prevention, bullying, social isolation, custody evaluation. And there's like hundreds of partners that we work with on that note, from the different law enforcement, trying to build more close relationships with different agents and stuff like that. Um, in just different fields, but like having cybersecurity programs. We do host childsextrafficking.org, which is a child sex trafficking awareness platform. So that's something like completely separate from like the STEM program, but it's something all within our foundation just to make sure we, hitting like the serious issues as well.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good.
And yeah,
So,
this artwork, real quick, one more thing. This one is some artwork one of my elementary students created in second grade. So she created this. We got like this little project where we're making like our favorite snacks. So she made some cupcakes for her brother, and I'm promoting some of their artwork just to show you, like, it go from the art but then teaching them how to do like the apparel, the merchandise, putting it on book bags, and taking them to different events when I'm doing my promotions to help them expand their brand too. It'd be real fun.
Yeah, wow. For a second grader, I don't know if I could even finger paint when I was in second grade.
Yeah.
I wasn't coloring in the lines then, I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah,
I see that
yeah.
on your website under the workshops. Very interesting website. Well,
Thank
Greg,
you.
tell us a little about how someone can tell us the name of your business again, yourself, your name of your business to wrap up here, the name of your business and everything, and how they can get a hold of you,
Yeah.
and things you're going to offer in the future as well.
Sure. So they can connect with me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook under Jared Arms, spelled the normal way how it's presented in Zoom. Our website is Kylar.io, KYLAR.io. You can visit that to sign up and just check out more information, more interviews, and just classes that we have coming up. And you can also check us out on Eventbrite as well, just for more classes that's not on our homepage on the website. And then two more websites. We have artwork.photos spelled the normal way, or artwork.photos. We have over 5,000 NFT unique images up for people just to check out. And then of course the more one for just partners trying to help out with like you know just more unlawful situations. Those partners can visit childsextrafficking.org, and all of our contact information are on all three.
All right. Well, there's some young man or young lady sitting out there, and I'm sure just like you were 10 or more years ago. What's
Mm.
something you could tell them if you were thinking about where you were over 10 years ago and all the things you were thinking through, and you had a decision to lay in bed and do nothing, or decision to get up out of bed and do what you did. What would you tell that young man or that young woman?
Ah, man. Well, it would be a lot because I love talking, but I would tell them just to do what you follow your heart, do what you love doing, um, and just stay focused and hungry and just keep God first, but just follow your heart. If of course we all want to get rich and make money to take care of our family and help the community. So do what you love and the money will follow. But yeah, definitely follow your passion. And if you feel it, just keep moving on it. And you will have times where you have doubt, where you're gonna hear a lot of no's and people gonna close doors on you, things like that. But just keep God first and everything will be okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time today. You can tell with the energy that you have. You have an enormous amount of passion behind this, and I admire. Not everything was perfect when you started, but you just carpe diem. You just went and seized the day, and good things happen to you, and it's part of the journey that you have to enjoy. Right? It's
Oh
never a
yeah.
day is perfect.
If I could say one more thing too, like for people who are watching this, when you all do your research and connect with me online, you'll see my son, Jaron Arms. He had passed away September 14, 2020. So a good thing that Mike is saying for people who just need some level of hope, because it's not one day where I don't feel the pain, and it's always challenging not crying about that stuff, even though it's been 3 years now, but it's still super fresh. And so like today I could be, just sitting around, and I would have the right to, ain't nothing wrong with grieving, but just trying to use my time and energy and like, keep fighting how my son was continuing to fight like that too. So it's a lot of things I could be focusing on today that I feel is more important and stuff. But at the same time, it's like you got to be able to keep growing, keep networking, and just keep expanding, because connecting with you and stuff like that is real refreshing, being able to tell this story with a nuance to it for the first time. So yeah, I appreciate it. But even if you lose close family members and stuff like that, of course, take the time to heal and grieve, but just keep going. Don't never stop, basically.
What a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you.